with another video. So this video is all about being a black nurse. Have I faced any type of racism, discrimination? What does it mean to me to be a black nurse? And about my leadership in nursing and my future plans. So these were two of the questions that I got on my last giveaway video, where I asked you guys to send me topics that you wanted me to film. So I'll cover racism and discrimination first. Just to give you guys a little background, my BSN, I went to the University of Tennessee at Knoxville. So UT Knoxville, so in my nursing class, out of maybe 80 to 90 students, it was only 3 black students. There wasn't a lot of diversity in my nursing program. I can remember only seeing 1 black faculty member. I didn't have any black clinical instructors, so there was little diversity. And we also didn't have, you know how some universities have like Black Student Nurses Association. I am so happy that there are colleges and universities out there that have Black Student Nurse Organization. So as you guys know, at Vanderbilt, they do an excellent job of making me feel included, you know, from day one. I was able to join their Black Student Nurses Organization, and we have tons of black faculty. So, you know, I love seeing faculty that look like me. And there are a lot more black students in the nursing program at Vanderbilt. UT Knoxville and Vanderbilt, as far as the nursing programs, they are a completely opposite, like day and night. So my clinical experiences while I was in nursing school at UT Knoxville, I did come across some situations that made me feel uncomfortable. So you guys, in clinical, I rarely saw a black nurse at any of the hospitals. I can remember throughout my whole clinicals in nursing school, I might have saw 2 black nurses, and that was it. In my foundations clinical, I was taking care of a patient, and they referred to me as a colored nurse. I definitely felt some type of way about being called a colored nurse by a patient. I mean, he was an older white male. The next experience happened in my Med-Surg 1 clinical. Again, it was another white male patient, and this was around the time Still Magnolias was coming out in 2012. So it was the black version with Queen Latifah. And I can remember he had the TV on in his room, and I think Queen Latifah on the Today Show promoting the movie and everything, and the patient was like, oh, that movie doesn't stand a chance. And you know, basically because, you know, the cast was all black and everything. And I kind of just looked at the patient like, what? I didn't say it because, you know, at that time I was a nursing student. I was trying my best not to get rolled up again in clinical. I remember one of my clinical experiences where I saw my first black nurse, and I ran up to her. I was like, hey girl, hey. You know, it's not, well, I didn't say this, but I want to say, I was like, you are the first black nurse I have ever seen in Knoxville. It is not a lot of us up here. And you know, I don't know how many black nurses Knoxville has, but I know there weren't that many when I was there. You know, hopefully the nursing culture has changed up there. You know, they have more black nurses, but I have no idea. But that's one of the reasons that propelled me to come back to Memphis, because I knew I would be around nurses that look like me. Because like I've been telling y'all so much, representation matters. It just does something to my spirit when I see nurses that look like me. And I'm so thankful for social media, because you see all these black nurses that are just out here getting it. And social media wasn't really that, it was kind of blowing up when I was in nursing school. But you guys, I'm so thankful for social media, because it has connected me with so many young black nurses who are just so amazing, and they inspire me, and I know they inspire you guys as well. It's just so powerful to see, you know, all these young black nurses, you're doing our thing. Oh, the black nurses in Atlanta, y'all are doing it. Y'all just be out there working, having their own organizations, and just like, they just out there flourishing in Atlanta. You know, seeing all the black nurses out there and just like everywhere just keeps me motivated, keeps me inspired. So as a registered nurse, I haven't experienced any type of discrimination or racism by my patients. I've taken care of every race. On my unit, day shift is primarily black nurses, black CNA. Of course, we do have nurses of other races, but a majority of us day shift are black. I love all of our nurses on our floor, you know, regardless of race. You know, everybody is a team player. I've heard stories from nurses in other cities where they've experienced different incidences of like racism and discrimination. Like I heard of this story where a patient refused a nurse because she was black. And you know, I've heard, you know, different stories like that, but you know, by the grace of God, that hasn't happened to me at all. Some of my black patients, the younger girls, like they'll always ask me for advice about becoming a nurse, or they'll tell me that they want to become a nurse, and then you know that just opens up a whole conversation, because I love talking to people about becoming a nurse, about going back to school to become a nurse. And you know, I'm taking care of moms and babies, so I always tell them, you know, if you guys have a good support system at home to help you take care of your baby, you know, going back to school is always an option. I just giving them advice, and you know, they'll ask me about the different programs around Memphis, and I'll try to give them my best opinion of them, just because I know people who have gone to like different programs. Sometimes when I'm taking care of older black patients, my older black patients, they'll ask me, how old are you? And I tell them, oh, I'm 26. And they're like, wow, I'm so proud of you, like you're young, and you're a nurse. As far as me being a black nurse, it's definitely empowering. And you know, if I can empower anybody else to be a nurse, or inspire anybody else to be a nurse, then you know, I'm blessed and thankful to do that, because there wasn't a lot of representation when I was in nursing school. And if I can be that representation for somebody, then that's always a win in my book. And you guys, like I was saying earlier, I'm so thankful for social media, because it just connects, you know, nurses from around the United States with each other. And you know, it's like this big support system, this big community of nurses, and you can always find a nurse that looks like you, whether you're looking for an Asian nurse who can inspire you, Hispanic nurse. You know, there are nurses with many different platforms of many different races who inspire me. So I'm just thankful for social media just opening up the doors, so that we can see, you know, nurses of different cultures out here thriving and flourishing. As far as leadership in nursing, with my job, we rotate charge nurses. So everybody has the opportunity to be a charge nurse. I'm going to be honest, being in charge, it comes with, you know, different duties. You know, you're making decisions about staffing. In the past, the charge nurse will make our assignment. You know, there are different things you have to check as the charge nurse. You have to check like the crash cart, the temperatures in the refrigerator, have to check the doors on my unit, make sure they're locked, and you know, a host of other things. You do get an extra dollar at my job, an extra dollar per hour for your shift for being charge nurse. To be honest, I don't really like being charge nurse. I just like going to work and working without having to worry about, you know, other stuff. On this new schedule, I'm not charge nurse at all, so yay. As far as my future in nursing, you guys know I'm in grad school at Vanderbilt to become a women's health nurse practitioner. My main goal as a women's health nurse practitioner is to help black women, because like I've told you guys countless of times, too many black women are dying during childbirth and postpartum. I was watching a video on Facebook yesterday.
Son Langston in April of 2016. We walked into Cedars-Sinai Medical Center on April 12th of 2016 with a woman that just wasn't in good health. She was in exceptional health. After the procedure took place around 2 o'clock, shortly afterwards, we went back to recovery. As I'm sitting there reflecting in all this glow and pride of being a new father for the second time, here is resting, my new baby is resting, and as I look at her bedside, I begin to see the catheter begin to turn red with blood. I brought it to the attention of the staff, the nurses at Cedars-Sinai. They came in, they said, we're gonna do a couple of things. We're gonna order a set of tests, and we're gonna order a CT scan to be performed stat. I was concerned, but I said, you know what? My wife is healthy and what's supposed to be one of the best hospitals in the world. I'm concerned, but we've got a plan, okay? Blood work comes back, it's showing that it's abnormal and she's hemorrhaging. And they ordered a CT scan that was supposed to be performed stat. Keep in mind, this is around 4 o'clock. 5 o'clock comes, no CT scan. Her blood levels are continuing to drop. By this time, she's beginning to shiver uncontrollably. 6 o'clock, no CT scan. She's beginning to become pale. She's in extreme pain. 7 o'clock comes, 8 o'clock comes, no CT scan. I'm begging, I'm pleading the staff to do something. And around 9 o'clock, as I continue to plead for my wife's life, the staff at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center tells me, sir, your wife just isn't a priority right now. 8 o'clock comes, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. They said, well, we need to do a blood transfusion. I'm saying, well, where is the CT scan? It wasn't until after midnight that they finally took my wife back to surgery. After I'd begged and pleaded for them to take action for more than 10 hours. When they took Kira back to surgery, they opened her up and there were 3.5 liters of blood in her abdomen. And she coded immediately. Now I'm here to tell you this. I'm not here to tell you what I think. I'm here to tell you what I know. There are people on this panel that are far more intelligent than I'll ever be that are going to talk to you about the statistics and how horrifying they are. But what I'm here to tell you is this, is there's no statistic that can quantify what it's like to tell an 18-month-old that his mother's never coming home. There's no matrices that can quantify what it's like to explain to a son that will never know his mother just how amazing she was. My wife deserved better. Women all over this country deserve better.
In 2018, the United States of America has the highest rate of maternal deaths in the developed world. Every single year, we mourn roughly 700 mothers who are lost to complications during their pregnancy. And at least 350 of those deaths are preventable. Most alarmingly, profound racial disparities persist in these statistics. Black women today are 3 to 4 times more likely to die of pregnancy or delivery complications than white women. Before we try to explain that away on socioeconomic terms, just access to care, access to education, higher income, we have to be clear that even when you control for those factors, a wealthy black woman with an advanced degree is still more likely to die or to have a baby die than a poor white woman without a high school diploma. Black women are 243% more likely to die from pregnancy or childbirth-related causes. 243%.